Okay, so it's common knowledge that video games are terrible for you, right? All they do is rot your mind. You stare at a screen all day, it's going to make your eyes go bad. Well, what if I told you that there's a way to harness the power of video games and that maybe video games aren't all that bad for you and that actually they can even be used to help improve your life and educate you? And that's the point of Daphne Bavelier's whole TED Talk she goes through. And actually, the coolest stat that she gives is one she opens up with. And this is how she grabs you: 68,000 years. Think about that. Because in 1 month after the video game Call of Duty Black Ops was released, 1 month after that, people have played Black Ops for a total of 68,000 years. It's okay, I'll let you think about that for a second. Because seriously, if we could harness that kind of power into actually educating people, if we could mold education into games without you ever even knowing, but it's the game still intriguing, how great would that be for everybody? You're educating yourself while you're playing a video game. And that's the main focus of Daphne's TED Talk. And the also coolest thing I thought about her speech was that you go through the whole thing and you watch her, and she's captivating just in talking. But it makes you think more and more, like, man, how could I get involved in something like this? How do you? She studies the brain. She has all this statistical inventory that she can spit at you. But the coolest thing, and this is the coolest thing because she follows the TED commandment, is that she doesn't actually sell anything to you on stage. But you're thinking, man, how could I help fund something so cool? How could I? How could I get an educational game that's also going to be a booming game that everybody wants to play? How do you harness a power like that? I think that is so cool to think about because the example she uses is broccoli and chocolate. And she ends with, we need a better chocolate. One that takes the extractions from the broccoli and pumps it into the chocolate and makes it a better one. And that's the new video games that she's looking into making for us to help us harness that kind of video game power. And that's so cool that she was able to follow even the Ten Commandments and getting through all this whole thing. So the also very cool thing is how she follows Nancy DRT's sparkline structure, because she's able to go throughout her whole speech, give you plenty of examples of like how they did testing, um, exponential growth of how eyesight actually has improved in video gamers who are 10 to 15 hours a week on video games rather than normal people who don't even play them at all. Like, even their progress 5 months down the line was better eyesight than what the normal person is. She's disproving all the, general misconceptions of what we think about video games, which they've been thought of so long that it's hard to even think of them a different way. But when you have science behind it, it's kind of hard to deny. So I think that's also really great about it. What I thought was her star moment, though, and the thing that I absolutely remember just because you're saying it in your mind too, is she gave this example of she had the audience participate as well. And she said, okay, I want you to say the colors when you see them on the screen. And she shows, a color, and it says the word orange, and the color of the word is orange as well. Well, then she shows the word yellow, but it happens to be in the color green. But your mind's thinking yellow. It's just showing you that visually you're able to learn, even though you know the color is green, your mind's still saying yellow because the word's right there. He's saying, so if you can harness that, you put it into a video game and you learn it just like that, it's going to come to you so much faster the more and more you progress through it. What better way than video games? So you're going to take that away from her talk just because of that star moment she has right there. Now, her delivery is also really great. Besides her even having an accent, you don't even notice it because she's very eloquent in how she speaks. She also speaks at you, and she talks about you, and she talks about how the audience can learn from this and how the audience can gain from this. And really, especially in education, she's talking about all of us. We all can still learn. We all still do that every day. So she puts the emphasis on you and keeps it away from her, which is great. She just tells you the kind of stuff that she's done and is doing, and how she doesn't really say she needs help to do it or funding and stuff like that, but it just makes you think, like, man, there's got to be a way to get this done. How can we help? And I think that's great that she never even has to say that, but you think it going through the whole process. Now, what I plan on doing and what I've learned from the TED Talks that I watched, that I plan on doing for my next discussion, is being more presentation oriented. And by that I mean visually. Give you something more to look at. You're going to be over here, you're going to be over there. Maybe it gives you something more to kind of spice things up throughout the middle, which I think is kind of a great idea. And she has some great charts, and like that example I gave you, maybe some kind of participation that I could possibly do as well. So that's something to think about. I appreciate you listening, and thanks for your time.